a little different for Critter Corner this week. I'm not used to
We don't
reading a
normally get to
teleprompter.
do the duo at the desk, so instead of our typical unmotivated Monday, we're taking a look at some of the puppies up for adoption over at the Thomas J. O'Connor Animal Shelter. Jenna's the expert here. Who do we have?
So this is Carl. He's a boy, black and white pit bull terrier mix.
Years.
He's estimated to be like 2.5 years old for the most part. It's always tough when animals come in, they can't really tell.
Yeah.
He's been there for almost a month now. Good with most dogs. Great walking buddy, lots of energy, can do lots of playtime.
Clearly a little bundle of energy. Look how sweet he is.
Yeah.
Oh, and of course on all of these you're going to see the phone number where you can call and express interest in Carl and the rest of the dogs. Give them a ring if one of them is speaking to you.
For sure.
Someone like Marley.
Marley.
This is a female brindle pit bull terrier. She's about 5 years old. She's been at TJO since August, early August, so she needs a home. We need to get her to a family. She does best as an only dog, so she's a solo kind of gal. Best with adults and older kids, and another really good walking buddy. Look at the ball. I mean, come on.
So happy. We don't have many details on Axel, but Axel's a recent addition. He's not even on the website yet, so you'd have to call to get information, but he's about 10 months old. And just a reminder that all the animals that come into TJO, they've been through some stuff.
Yeah.
They've been through the mill. So when you are taking home a new pet, you want to make sure that you give them lots of time, lots of love, attention, and patience.
Yeah, and they have 56 dogs there, quite a few up for adoption. They are stacked at capacity, so if you can help, if you want a new family member, give them a ring. We're going to have this all week too, so keep coming back. But in the meantime, Jenna, what's you got for that final weather?
So the rest of this week is looking dry.